Hey everybody, welcome back to Sunflower Cottage Crochet. This is Sarah. This tutorial is the Tunisian Smock Stitch tutorial. I don't know about you, but I love how this looks. It actually kind of makes me think of like mermaid tail scales and things like that. I think it would look beautiful as a top. So to work this stitch, you will need to chain up an even number until you reach the desired width, and then you'll work your length. So the smock stitch is worked with the working yarn in front of your hook, much like the Tunisian purl stitch, except you won't let the yarn go. You'll continue to hold it on your hook, and then you work a Tunisian simple stitch together, which is a decrease. The loop you are holding on the hook will make up for the loss of a stitch when you work the decrease. To work the left edge stitch, you yarn over purlwise and work the left edge stitch as normal. The yarn over is to make up for the loss of stitches due to decreasing once again. So it's also a 2-row repeat. So I chained up 16 and worked a regular foundation row. If you need to pause the video, go ahead and do that and get your foundation row ready, and we'll jump right in. With my foundation row ready to go, we're going to work row 1 of the smock stitch. So we need to yarn over purlwise, yarn in front of the hook or scoop it up, however you want to refer to it. And then we're going to hold the loop while working and insert the hook behind 2 front bars and pull up a loop. So we're going to scoop it up and we're going to work under these next 2 bars together. So we're going under both, and I'm still holding that yarn over. Now I can let it go because it's finally set. So we worked under 2 bars, we still only have the 2 loops that we worked. So again, that yarn over is making up for the decrease that we're doing. So we're going to keep doing that all the way across. So I'm going to yarn under or yarn over purlwise, hold it, and Tunisian simple stitch 2 together, and now I can let go of that yarn. So you can see it's starting to grab those together. So again, I'm going to scoop it up and Tunisian simple stitch 2 together, pull up my loop. Now I can let go of that yarn under. So yarn under, Tunisian simple stitch 2 together, pull up a loop. Yarn under, Tunisian simple stitch 2 together, yarn over and pull up a loop. Yarn under, Tunisian simple stitch 2 together, yarn over and pull up a loop. And the last one, yarn under, Tunisian simple stitch 2 together, yarn over and pull up a loop. So now we need to do one more yarn over purlwise, insert into the edge stitch like we always do, and pull up a loop. So now hopefully we have 16 loops. So we count this one: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Uh-oh, we have 17. So now you can see we have gathered up all of our loops, and we actually have 17 stitches now. We did create an extra one, and it's for a reason. So you start out with an even number, but then you create an odd number. Don't ask why, I don't know, it just works. So now we're going to work a normal return pass by chaining 1 and pulling through 2 all the way across. And now you can see that it's starting to build the look already. But there's something I want to point out before I move on. I'm going to scooch it in just a little closer. Okay, so when working this pattern, we need to offset these groups, these pairs. So we're going to simple stitch this very first one, and then we're going to grab the last of its leg and grab the first of the next one's leg, and we're going to pinch those two together. So we're going to decrease those two together and then decrease these two together. And when you're working this one here and here and here, they're all going to start to disappear on you, so pay attention to that. So I'm going to zoom back out, and we're going to work this. So for row 2, you might want to mark the right edge stitch, which is this here, with a stitch marker, and maybe the riffraff, which is what this is right here. We're going to skip over that. So we're going to skip the riffraff, and we're going to just do a regular Tunisian simple stitch without yarning over in this first bar, just like so. And then we're going to do our smock stitch pattern. So we're going to yarn under, grab the one that's trying to disappear, and the next bar, whoops, I let it go. There we go. Yarn over and pull through 2 loops, and there we go. Then we're going to yarn under and go under the next 2 bars together, yarn over, pull up a loop. Just remember to keep holding that yarn under, and then Tunisian simple stitch 2 together, then yarn over and pull up a loop. Yarn under, hold it, grab the next 2 bars, yarn over and pull up a loop. Scoop it up, hold it, go under the next 2 bars, yarn over and pull up a loop. And I do tend to pull it a little bit tighter because it can be kind of loose. Yarn under and hold it, go under the next 2 bars, yarn over and pull up a loop. Okay, so now you see we only have 1 bar left and the left edge. So we're going to yarn over, or yarn under purlwise, hold the loop, and Tunisian simple stitch that last bar. And then we're going to work a normal left edge with no yarn unders or overs. There we go. Okay. So now you can see the pattern is building pretty nice. We're going to chain 1 and work a normal return pass. So now we have 2 rows completed. So for row 3, because row 1 does not count as part of the 2 row repeat, rows 2 and 3 does. So for row 3, we're going to yarn over purlwise or yarn under and hold the loop. And we're going to skip this first bar and insert behind the next 2 bars. So again, we're skipping this and the right edge. So we're going to go under the next 2. Yarn over and pull up a loop. Again, we yarned under to make up for the one that we skipped. Also to grab this one, these 2 rather. So we'll make up for the skipped one later, don't worry. All right, so yarn under and then continue to grab the next 2, the next 2 bars and work your smock stitch. So yarn under, go under the next 2, yarn over, pull up a loop. Yarn under, go under the next 2, yarn over, pull up a loop. Yarn under, hold it, go under the next two. Whoops, grabbed a little too many fibers there. Yarn over and pull up a loop. And I'm just keeping up with that all the way down until I've worked each one. And so now I've worked all but the left edge. And to make up for the one that we skipped all the way at the beginning, we're going to yarn over to work the left edge. And there we go. Now we're going to do a normal return pass. So now we just need to repeat rows 2 and 3. So we'll do it again. So for row 2, we need to skip the riffraff, which is this weird funky leaning this way stitch. We're going to skip that and do a regular Tunisian simple stitch without yarning over or under in the first bar. And now the next two that we want to gather to offset are ready. So we're going to yarn under and grab the next 2 bars, yarn over, whoops, don't let it go, yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn under, grab the next 2 bars, yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn under, grab the next 2 bars, yarn over and pull up a loop. Whoops, don't let go. I don't know why I keep letting go, like I didn't have that problem the whole time I was making my square, but now all right, so now we just have the final bar and the edge stitch. So we need to yarn under and work this final bar, and then we just work a normal edge stitch. Okay, so in the previous row, we had a yarn over to work the edge stitch. In the first row 2, the first set of 2 row repeats, you yarn under, I should say, to work the edge stitch. This is where the written pattern comes in handy. Now I'm just going to work the regular return pass. So there is row 2 of the repeat. Now we're going to work row 3 of the repeat once again. You just keep doing rows 2 and 3 until you reach your desired sizing. So for row 3, part of the repeat, we're going to yarn under and skip the first bar right here and start grabbing up the next 2. Just like we have been. It's pretty simple once you discover what the rhythm is. What you need to remember is how each row starts and ends. That's really what the real trick is, because it's easy enough to grab the next 2 bars. Okay, so now I've gathered up everything but the edge stitch, and we need to yarn under to work this edge stitch. And there we go, because we skipped the first one, we want to make up for that at the end. Now I'm going to work a normal return pass. So here we have the foundation row, row 1, which does not count as part of the repeat, rows 2 and 3, which do, and then rows 2 and 3 again. So again, you're just repeating rows 2 and 3 over and over until you've got your desired length. So for the bind off, you just work a normal Tunisian simple stitch bind off. So this makes it so much easier to finish this thing off instead of keeping up with the weird pattern. So this is the riffraff one. We need to skip that funky little guy there and just go right into this one and Tunisian simple stitch bind off. You just do 1 bar, oops, at a time. Ah, okay, perfect example. That kind of disappeared on me, so I didn't see it. You want to make sure you grab those, because it will start to disappear as you pull on the other side. Yep, like that one. I've gathered all but the edge stitch, and I'm going to go ahead and do that, or I've bound off. And I like to chain 1 to secure. And there it is, the smock stitch. I hope this was helpful for you. I hope you learned a little something. Please hit the subscribe button and like the video. Leave a comment if you want. Hit the little bell icon to be notified every time we upload a new video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.